See, my father lived in Humboldt County. He grew up in Humboldt County. My grandparents immigrated here when my father was 6. So he grew up in Humboldt County, and he was the only Hispanic student in his high school. So he tells me he was picked on quite a bit. So so my father grew up amongst rednecks. So my dad is kind of a redneck, you know. So and when he moved down here, he lost his home because there was a big flood in 1964, and they lost their home. They relocated here to Cloverdale, and I was born. So I grew up. Cloverdale was really a conservative community. So growing up here was, you just kind of try to fit in, you know. And I think I did all right, you know. I didn't, nobody ever picked on me. I did find, though, as I was getting older, that as kids, like in the 80s, immigrated here from Mexico, that my fellow students, they wouldn't pick on them, but they'd say derogatory things that I would turn to them and say, "Hey, I'm Mexican too," and they go, "Oh no, you're different." And it's like, how am I different? You know, it's just like, but because I was born here, Spanish was my second language, because I grew up. My grandparents, they came here, they tried to adapt to this country, so they spoke English, they spoke broken English, and my parents spoke fluent English. So I grew up around in a household with everybody speaking English, so Spanish was like my second language, and I don't know, I think I did okay fitting in here. When I was, I guess I was 12, I had my dad's, not his youngest sister, but his middle sister, was, she was, I would call her a young, successful Latina. You know, she went to college, she worked for a brokerage firm in San Francisco, she had a convertible sports car, she had it all. I was telling Wendy, my grandfather didn't think that was cool, though, you know, because he, you know, men thought differently back then. And but anyway, she was single, and she would always go call me up and say, "Chris, during summer vacation, why don't you ride your bike down here? And when I get home from the city, we'll go out and do stuff, and we'll go out and do things Friday night, Saturday, and then I'll take you back on Sunday." So I used to say, okay. So I'd ask my mom, "Hey mom, I'm going to go visit Aunt Dell." And she'd say, okay. And she'd give me a handful of dimes and say, "You call me from every town," because I would ride a single speed bike to Santa Rosa. And I'd call her from Geyserville, I'd call her from Healdsburg, I'd call her from Barry's Market in Windsor, I'd call her from Larkfield, and then my final call was, "Hey, I'm here, you don't have to worry anymore." So, and then my aunt would take me out, and we'd do stuff that, you know, my parents would have never taken. Like, we'd go out for Chinese food, we'd Indian food, whatever. And then on Sundays, she would throw my bike in the back of her convertible, and we'd come back to Cloverdale, and she'd drop me off. So, but, and my kids ask me now, "Would you let us do that, Dad?" And I'm like, no way. No way. It's different. My motivation was, I just want to get through high school. You know, I just, I just wanted to get through it, and just see what was next. Okay, I'm done with high school. Okay, what's next? Okay, now I got to go to junior college. I just want to get through that. And it's just been, I always set like short-term goals for myself. So I guess I didn't want to be a failure in high school, because I had cousins that dropped out of school, and they just, and you always hear your relatives talk about them, and God, what a failure he is. He didn't even make it through his sophomore year, whatever. It's like, I don't want that to happen to me. I'm going to do my best and get through high school, and that was my goal. And like I said, I always have short-term goals. Even during the week, I'm like, okay, my short-term goal for this week is such and such a thing, And even if it's I got to do something on the weekend, I always set that goal, and I do whatever I can to get to it, Every week, I'll do that.
Hi, I'm Leslie Boteo.
Hi, I'm Rixwell Gomez.
Hi, I'm Jorge Cruz.
Hi, I'm Cesar Dan.
Hi, I'm Alexis Reese.